Hello, friends. God bless you. And I was reading something from Book of Chronicles, Second Chronicles, about King Manasseh, and I was little confused at first that why the wickedest king Manasseh had a very long career. We know that there are good kings and bad kings. The best good king that we call it David, for whom God said that man after God's own heart lived 70 years. But then the Bible also said the wickedest king in Israel, entire Israel and Judah, was Manasseh. And if you wanted to know about what he did, then you will not believe that one person can fall that far. But as David was good king and had lived long, Manasseh became king when he was 12 years old. He ruled over Judah for 55 years. That means he lived 67 years. Just 3 years short than King David. Why the wickedest king lived that long? Not only that, you would assume that he would be forgotten. No. His name is listed in Jesus' genealogy if you read Matthew chapter 1. Why the wickedest king's name is in Jesus' genealogy? Or why he lived that long? If you read about a good and bad king both in Israel and Judea, they all did not live long. Most of them died somewhere around 50 years. What was special about Manasseh? Before we find it, let's look about how wicked he was. From the age 12, think about just 12 years old of age, he started doing evil when he became king. His father Hezekiah has removed all the idols. He re-established them. It was not enough that he installed more altars and more idols throughout his kingdom. If that was not worst, he installed the altar of or foreign gods in the temple. For the temple which God said, there my presence will be there, or this is the temple where my name will be there. In the same temple, next to the altar of God of Israel, Manasseh installed the altar of foreign gods. And if that is not enough, he sacrificed his own son to idols. And how he sacrificed? He burned his sons alive. How wicked it is. And you would say that God said, all right, I'm done with you. No. Bible says that 2 Chronicles chapter 33, that God was kept speaking with Manasseh and his people. But neither people listened nor Manasseh listened. God never stopped talking with Manasseh. And then trouble comes. And when trouble comes, Manasseh turned to God. Bible doesn't say how God was speaking to Manasseh, but Bible said that God was talking with Manasseh. So he knows how God speaks. So when the trouble comes, and Manasseh was removed from kingship, he was bound in chain, and he was dragged out. In those times he turned to God. Not only God delivered him, God re-established him as a king. And from that day onward, what Manasseh did, he removed all the idols. He removed the altars from the temple that he built. He removed all of them. And after removing them, Bible says that he throughout his life, remaining his life, he served the Lord. Bible says that the people were serving other gods, But Manasseh was following God. So if you think that you have done some terrible things in your life, there is no hope for you. My friend, God's grace is bigger or far big than your worst sin. And God loves you so much that just like Manasseh, He will keep talking with you, keep pursuing you. The only thing is required that you will respond to His love and His call. So this story is about how persistent God's love is. He has far better plan and purpose for your life and my life. So when you read about Manasseh, King Manasseh, or if you compare your life, how rotten your and my life could be, how much far we have fallen from God, we will never be away from God's grace and God's love. And it is my prayer that don't lose hope. God has a plan and purpose for your life. Turn to His call, give your life to Him, and He will restore you. No matter how many chains you are bound in, God removed those chains for Manasseh, re-establishing him as a king. When he turned to God, God can do that same thing for you today. I believe God has blessed you. Thank you.